My name is Christopher Herrera, and in this video, I'm going to go through my book from Dr. Campbell's class. The book is called The History of the American Economy right here. Got it from the CPP library. And my topic was about the economy of the 1920s. And this book was published in 2002 by Gary M. Walton and Hugh Rockoff. It's like the ninth edition, of the history of the American economy. And it was like this book I got like all my information specifically on this chapter 22 right here. Chapter 22 was the Roaring 20s, and it was published by Stanford Com. And the reason I chose this topic is because it just interests me how like the economy was like basically like 100 years ago. As you know, it was the 1920s. Right now we're in 2025, and like the economy has changed like then like a lot. It's changed a lot. Like I learned about it before in class. And back in 11th grade in high school, I was I was in history, and there was one time I did like a project on it with some friends, and so I had some knowledge of it. And like just hearing like one of the topics hearing that one of the topics was the economy of the 1920s, it interests me. We went over it during class too, during lecture, and like out of all of like the books there were like this, out of like all the topics that there were, like it just interests me the most since there's like a lot more topics. And the main argument like of this book, this book had like a lot of like it just talks about like just the American the US economy in general. Like American economy in general was starting from 1607, and then going on and on until like the times we're right now. Like there is a chapter that just talks about mostly the 1920s. But like the main argument like of the book, going based off like the chapter where there was where it talks about the 1920s, is that like the new technology it argued like new technology, like mass production, like consumer spending, like made like the 1920s like a decade of economic growth. So like factories made like goods made goods fast made goods faster, and like cars and radios like changed like how everyday life was back then, and like how like credit like help people like buy more goods and everything. But like that but then like it explains one of the quotes, like it explains like the prosperity of the 1920s rested on a narrow base and proved less stable than it appeared. So it was like uneven and like unstable, since like farmers and like workers and some industries like struggled, and it caused like it also caused like the Great Depression, which was in 1929, like in late October. And especially like on October 29, like $14 billion were lost. And there was like some good things and like some bad things of it. It was mostly bad. It was mostly bad things, since like it affected like the people that like didn't really have like that much money. So like like farmers, like workers that wouldn't like they weren't that like big or like that rich. So like it wouldn't really affect like the rich people. They were it wasn't good for them basically. And other themes and like topics that were also explored in this book here were like the founding of like the colonies. Let me see. The founding of the colonies back then, and like the activities in colonial times, like land and natural resource basically. Also economic progress and wealth. How like the progress kept going on over time. And also market growth and expansion, land and like early movements, workers and factories, how the workers and factories like how it was back then. Also this little book also talks about like slavery, railroads, marketing and homes, World War I, which is like before the 1920s, and World War II, which happened like after the 1920s. The Great Depression that happened during the 1920s. The New Deal that happened after. Agriculture, the old time in the U.S. and like labor progress, how like everything like like started like going up. So like now like the minimum wage is like higher. I think like 16 thing. It just went high because back then obviously like labor was like um it was people really wouldn't earn that much back then. And some the and like the and like throughout the book, well, basically specifically what I was reading about the 1920s, like the author like did successfully accomplish the goals set out in the work, since like they wanted to explain how like the American economy developed over time during that decade in the 1920s, and like other decades too, and like what caused growth and change, like new inventions and like spendings like people did that also created like the Great Depression. Then it made like the economy weak like towards the end of the 1920s, and like it could have been like, but something that could have been like more helpful on understanding like the economy would have been like perspectives of people like farmers or workers, could be like their perspectives, talking more about how like experiences or like what affected them, um and like some real life examples, like how like farmers and workers experience like the 1920s, since that like affected them more compared to like other like rich people, like more wealthy people, how like low earners, how it affected them. And yeah, but most of it the author did successfully accomplish the goals, you know what I mean. Since this book just talks about basically like the whole economy, so it could, and has like a lot of pages, so a lot of goals were like they were accomplished. And like and my experience in finding this book, like this book from the CBP library, Cal Poly Pomona Library, it was easy to find, since like the economy like in America is like a popular like topic that people know about, and there's gonna be a lot of books about the economy. Like I chose this specific book since it's like the only one is the title of it stood out to me more because it says the history of the American economy, like like the whole history of it. So it'll show you. So like I said, it's stuff from like the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, late 1900s, specifically more 1900s, 2000s. But I'm focused more on the 1920s. And but I just specific since like it does have the economy over the years, and the 1920s, like one of the chapters, like people in that decade, like a lot of people from the U.S. know about that decade, since especially a lot of students, especially like students in this class, they know about it. It's been taught in every history class, and like reading this book was interesting since it highlights like a time where like the economy was good and bad for like certain people. Like I said before, rich people, wealthy people, they benefited more, but as workers, they wasn't bad. It wasn't good for them. And something that I also want to mention is like the types of experience that like are lost when we only rely like on digital searches for research. So like so something that's like the type of experiences that are lost is actually going to go look for a book, you know what I mean, like searching through aisles, like what specific topics, because in the library where I got my book from is the aisles right there were mostly more of history, like I would say like I think it was economy. It was economy, US presidents, I can't really remember. But yeah, it was a specific section where it's mostly like history over time. There's section for my major. I'm in landscape architecture. There's like a whole like section on the floor on the library where specifically it's about like gardens, the landscape, history of landscapes. Because last semester, like I experienced actually going to look for a book, since our teacher wanted us ourselves to go look for like a specific book that we wanted to like write on. And I got to experience that because I went all the way to like the top floor to get it. So you know what I mean, like a lot of people, well people go on to websites to look for books, but I had to go experience, I had to go get the book myself. Like like and like when people rely like on digital searches for research, like it takes away that experience, you know what I mean? And also like and actually having like the book itself, like here, like on your hands, um uh you know, like the feeling of like the cover, the you know, yeah, the feeling of the cover, feeling like going through the pages, you know, smelling like the ink. I like it's a unique smell of the ink. And like when you're folding each page. And also like books also, like they took time to write and publish, especially if authors had to do like their own research. They spent their own time doing research so they could write the books and other people could read it, you know, like other people could read it and like I know, teach themselves like how like different types of books. Even like authors that do like books with only pictures, like they do research, like and they actually they take their own time like doing all that, like the drawings and the writing. And like a lot of tasks that are done like online can also be better like in like the old-fashioned way, even like if it takes longer. And that's it, my the book I did, and the topic of the economy of the 1920s.